In a big city, there was a young man named Alex. He had a strange and scary experience. It all began when he looked at himself in the mirror one day. But instead of seeing his usual reflection, he saw something different. His eyes looked strange, like they were made of glass and changing colors. It scared him a lot. At first, Alex thought maybe he was just tired or stressed from working too much. But then, it happened again. This time, he was walking down the street, and he caught a glimpse of his reflection in a building's window. His face looked pale, and there was a dark shadow behind him. It made his heart race with fear. Alex tried to ignore it and go about his day, but the scary reflections kept appearing everywhere he looked, in the elevator, in shop windows, even in his own home. It felt like the shadows were following him, watching him wherever he went. As days went by, Alex started to feel more and more anxious. He couldn't shake the feeling that something was terribly wrong. Sometimes, he would see things that weren't there, like his coworker getting hit by a car or his own reflection looking sick and lifeless. He tried to tell himself it was all just his imagination, but deep down, he knew something was off. The shadows seemed to be trying to tell him something, warning him about the dangers lurking in everyday life. One night, Alex had a terrifying dream. He found himself in a hospital where everyone was sick and no one seemed to care. The receptionist led him to a room filled with bodies, their skin turning gray and their eyes empty. It was a scene straight out of a horror movie, but the worst part was yet to come. As Alex tried to leave, he felt a presence behind him. He turned around and saw a dark figure looming in the shadows. It whispered to him, telling him to stay and join the others. Alex tried to run, but he couldn't move. It was like he was frozen in place, trapped in his own nightmare. When he woke up, Alex was drenched in sweat and shaking with fear. He knew he had to do something to stop the shadows from haunting him. He got rid of all the mirrors in his apartment and tried to avoid going outside as much as possible. But no matter what he did, the shadows kept getting stronger. They filled his head with strange noises and made him doubt his own sanity. He felt like he was losing control of his own mind. Desperate for help, Alex called a doctor and begged them to find out what was wrong with him. But when they arrived, the nurses seemed to be in on it too. They ignored his pleas for help and told him to stay quiet. Feeling helpless and alone, Alex began to feel his body changing. He felt stiff and weak, like something was sucking the life out of him. He knew he was running out of time. In his final moments, Alex realized that the shadows weren't just a figment of his imagination. They were real, and they were coming for him. As he faded into darkness, he heard them whispering, faster, faster, until everything went silent